Don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to take you to Pip's Comedy Club.
And be prepared to laugh, so don't go away.
Mary had a little lamb, but now the lamb is dead. So when Mary takes the lamb to school, it's between two hunks of bread.
Welcome back to New York Nightlife.
Bonnie, you have been promising us some laughs all evening long.
Well, John, that is exactly what you're going to get at Pip's. You'll hear jokes that you've never heard anywhere before, because this is where comedians go to try out new material. Pip's is located on Emmons Ave in the Sheepshead Bay section of Brooklyn. The owner, George Schultz, who had worked for years as a stand-up comic under the name of Georgie Star, opened the club in 1962. After having 2 sons, George traded in his own stand-up comedy act for Pip's. Today, 28 years later, Pip's remains one of the best comedy clubs in New York. It was here at Pip's Comedy Club where dozens of successful comedians got their start.
I opened Pip's in 1962 as a place for comedians to break in. But actually, Pip's over the years has been a good room for comedy. A lot of comedians, you know, who are now nationally famous, people like David Brenner, Robert Klein, Steve Landesberg, Andy Kaufman, Richard Lewis, Robert Guillaume, Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers, Billy Crystal, Joe Piscopo, Andrew Dice Clay, but the list goes on and on.
George was the only one, and is the only one of the entrepreneurs of any of these clubs that knows anything about comedy, because he was a professional comedian and spent his whole life around comedians and knows the intricacies of putting together a subtlety of an act.
My career started at Pip's.
Everything I owned was purchased by jokes. So my whole career and my whole lifestyle, and maybe my whole future, in a sense, has its roots back in a place like Pip's.
George earned a reputation for spotting up-and-coming talent. And what did he look for?
To me, the funny guys, give me a misfit Jew from Brooklyn, from the Bronx, a guy with bleeding gums, lives in a furnished room, bad childhood, losing his hair when he's 19, bad sex life, broke, borrows money, doesn't pay back. These are the guys who are funny.
The earliest thing I remember about George Schultz was that he told me, "Kid, you're too good looking to be a comic. You gotta be a game show host."
George has given up the day-to-day management of Pip's so he can spend more time fishing in Sheepshead Bay. George's son, Seth, a young filmmaker with a flair for comedy, now runs the club. We asked Seth what it is about Pip's that makes it one of the best comedy rooms to work in.
Nothing like a Brooklyn crowd to tell you if you're being funny and sincere or not. This is the Gleason's gym of comedy. This is, and I got Frankie Five Fingers over there. He runs a spittoon thing with the bucket. No, it's really tough. It's gritty on this level. But if you can make them laugh here, you can make them laugh anywhere.
Tell us about Amateur Night here. It's every...
Amateur Night is known as Night of 1,000 Deaths. It's where, well, a place like Pip's was the first time that Andrew Dice Clay stepped on stage. That was it, the first spot for him.
If you made Pip's in Sheepshead Bay, if you played there, you're on your way to stardom.
We went to Pip's to catch the acts of some future stars.
Yeah, anybody here been mugged? Come on, this is New York, tell the truth. I got mugged. I was waiting for a subway, a guy came behind me and pushed me on the tracks. Really? Yeah, right before the train hit me, the same guy pulled me up. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "I forgot your wallet."
But it's 1990 and I'm on this new diet now. I don't eat when I'm sleeping. It's working out pretty good. I'm in love with my car. I act like a star. My horn plays the Godfather theme. I am Italian. I know people. I'm a Gugine. I got a few tattoos. I wear pointy shoes. I always wear designer jeans. 'Cause I'm Italian. I know people. I'm a Gugine.
And what does Pip's have in store for the future?
All right, we're going to take the chicken salad off the menu, I promise. No more chicken salad. That's the one change that's coming up in the 90s for Pip's. Thank you and good night.
Well, John?
Well, Bonnie, I must admit it was hilarious. However, it is time to close the show.
Well, thank you for joining us on New York Nightlife. I'm Bonnie Comley.
And I'm John Smith, wishing you an exciting and dynamic nightlife. Good night.